Hi, I'm Corinne Johnson. I'm a transfer assistant at Drexel University. I'm going to tell you about some of my favorite things to do around Philadelphia. One of the best things to do in Philadelphia is to visit museums. Drexel University is in a great position for walking to museums. UPenn has one, and it's just to the south of us. It is an archaeology museum. So you can go there and see like Roman mosaics, you can see Egyptian sphinxes, you can see Buddha statues from Asia, um, and they have some African pieces, a lot of just like from all over the world. The next one that's closest would be the Art Museum. It's just to the north of campus, just across the Schuylkill. The most famous thing about that is that it's got the steps that Rocky ran up in the movie, the famous Rocky steps. They have a statue of him out front that people like to go and take pictures with. But they actually have great stuff inside the museum as well. I'm a big fan of the Arms and Armor exhibit because I'm all into medieval stuff. But there's a little something for everyone there. Uh, just down the street, if you go down Benjamin Franklin Parkway, which is the road with all the flags from all over the world, there's the Franklin Institute about a 10-minute walk away from that. And the Franklin Institute is a very hands on science museum. I've been going there since I was a little kid. We used to walk through the giant heart. It was like the big deal, and I think it's still a pretty big deal nowadays for the kids to do that. But there's also stuff about magnetism and electricity and just all kinds of different science stuff. And it's fun to go there for a day and just kind of pretend to be a kid again and just get involved in everything going on there. They also have a great IMAX theater. Not only do they show the educational films, but they also show Hollywood movies. I know I went there to go see The Hobbit last year, and it was pretty cool. Right next to that is the Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University. The advantage to that location is that you get in for free with your dragon card. They have dinosaur bones, they have a butterfly exhibit of live butterflies that you can walk through the room and see them all fluttering about. They have some other live animals in the basement. They have a lot of taxidermied specimens and information about how to taxidermy specimens and all that. But they're the oldest natural history museum in the country. Um, there's also like the Rodin Museum in that area, which has the Thinker out front, and a lot of museums. There's also a lot of museums in Center City if you keep going down towards the center of town, like City Hall area. Um, my next favorite place to visit would be Chinatown. If you take the Market Frankford line down to about 11th Street and get off and then walk to 10th and Arch, you'll see a giant arch, which was donated and brought over by a city in China, which is our sister city. And it's this gorgeous like temple arch. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. And then going to actual Chinatown, you can get bubble tea, you can get some great Chinese foods, you can get origami paper because I learned to do origami, and just various like accessories, knickknacks and stuff. It's great shopping, usually cheap prices. Not too far from there, if you head down to 5th Street, Market and 5th is the Independence National Historic Park. It's part of the National Park System, which means it's free. And you can visit Independence Hall, you can visit the Liberty Bell, you can visit Franklin Print Shop, and a couple other things. There's a portrait gallery, there's just all kinds of stuff. And I recommend, especially if you can go during the winter, because Independence Hall in the summertime there's a lot more crowds, and you actually have to go stop in and get tickets, even though they're free, but just to regulate how many people get to go in at a time. But during the winter, you pretty much just show up, and like every 20 minutes or so, they let a new group of people in. And in the winter, they take you upstairs, which is something they do not do in the summer. You actually get to see where they had like basically a hospital set up upstairs in Independence Hall for the soldiers. And a lot of them are actually buried not too far from there in Washington Square, which is like diagonally across from it. Um, Another great place to visit is South Street. It's kind of a countercultural experience, I guess, because it's a lot of different stores that are not really mainstream. Um, it also has the Magic Garden, which is a famous location done by an artist who did mosaic out of garbage, essentially. He just recycled a bunch of garbage by making mosaics out of it. And he did a lot of locations around up and down South Street, but you'll also see this particular area for a small fee. You can go in and just see it all together in one place. Um, there's also great murals in around town. One of my favorites is on South Street because I'm a sociology major. So it's W.E.B. Du Bois who did the sociology of the Seventh Ward, which is a famous area in Philadelphia where African Americans were. And that particular location where the mural is also where the first African American firehouse was, like the first one that allowed African American firemen. So that was pretty cool. And really, another great thing to see around the city are the murals. They're everywhere. So you just kind of wander and you'll just find them. One of my other favorites is on 39th around Chestnut, and it's the Tuskegee Airmen, and it's got like whole 3D effects, and it's pretty cool. The other place I like to visit, which is also free, is the Edgar Allan Poe House. If any of you are Poe fans or English majors, he's got 4 different locations where he lived that have been preserved as museums, but this is the only one that is a national park. So again, it's free to visit. Usually it's self-guided tours, but if you visit on his birthday, we'll have a special ranger guided tour that's fun to do, and his birthday's in January, in case you didn't know that. Um, most of these places are places you can go during the day. If you're looking for something to do at night, you can stay on South Street because they got some great restaurants and places to have a drink. My favorite cheesesteak place is there. The big fight over who makes the best cheesesteak in Philly, and everybody wants to be the best. But I personally vote for Jim's on South Street. I forget what the cross street is, like 3rd or 5th or something like that. He's around 5th, I think. And then also there's music venues. Electric Factory is probably one of the most famous ones in Philly. But right around campus, you have the Blockley on 38th between Market and Chestnut. And you also have the World Cafe Live, which is to the south on either 30th or 31st. I forget exactly where. And they have a lot of good music there. So there's something for everyone in Philadelphia. Another place I went to actually was the zoo. It's a very well-known zoo here in Philly. I went back when I was a kid, and it's not too far from campus at all. You could probably even walk there if you really wanted to, but I'd recommend taking a bus or something. And it's for a zoo. It's pretty large and a lot of great exhibits. I think I rode a camel there once. So enjoy at least one of the places I'm talking about, and definitely explore on your own. There's definitely more to be seen than just what I know about, and have fun.